Professional diver Paul De Gelder started advocating for shark conservation after he was attacked by a bull shark back in 2009 in Sydney, Australia. For this year's Shark Week on the Discovery Channel, De Gelder traveled around the world to the scenes of shark bites, including his own. In tonight's special, he visits a small Mexican village where 3 deadly shark attacks happened. He goes underwater with a shark investigator to plant a special camera called a bumblebee to help ID the great whites. Here's a look.
I think I see something. Shark. We have eyes on. Sharks checking out bumblebees.
First on CBS Mornings, Paul De Gelder is here. Good to see you, brother.
Nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Good to see you again.
So I love that you do this because I'm a huge shark nerd, and I think that people don't understand sharks very well. They don't understand their purpose and why they're incredibly majestic and awesome creatures. You've been going all over the world for these 5 specials for Shark Week. What were some of the highlights for you?
Oh, man, there's so many. So one of the shows, I was hand-feeding a massive tiger shark and then hand-feeding a massive great hammerhead for...
By massive, what do you mean?
I'm talking 13 foot, much bigger than me.
Woo.
And then on another show, I was free-diving with sharks 300 feet away from an active underwater volcano while it was erupting.
Wow.
And then also in Deadliest Bite, we were looking at bite mechanics of sharks, and then we were investigating shark attacks in Mexico, trying to help out a small community of fishing, a little fishing village that really depends on the ocean for their livelihood, but they're too scared to go back in because great whites have been attacking their divers. And it was very poignant because as we were planning the trip, another diver was attacked and killed.
Oh, man.
And so it was really great to go down there, talk to these people, try and help them out in some small way.
Of all the answers, Paul, I didn't think you'd say that. I thought you were going to say the biggest thing was when you went back to the scene of the shark attack where you were attacked 15 years ago, where you lost part of your arm and part of your leg in one bite, you said, and you went back to that site.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe I've blanked that out. It was a bit scary, to be honest.
I do want to know what you were feeling in that moment because you go right back to the location. Why you wanted to go there, yeah.
What I was doing, I was trying to rely on the training. It was the same thing as when I was an Army paratrooper and you're about to jump out of that black door of the plane in the middle of the night. And you don't know what's going to happen, but you transfer that fear into an excitement. Instead of going, all worried, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You think to yourself, you change that dynamic and go, I don't know what's going to happen.
But
So
I'm
I
ready
jumped
for
straight
it.
in.
You said, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm ready for it.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, and I had Maddie watching my back, so what could go wrong?
Maddie was with you, but I thought it was interesting because you talk about being a Navy diver, and one of your big fears was sharks, and now you go from being afraid of sharks to in the water looking for sharks.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you, Paul?
So many things.
Part of that song, isn't that Alanis Morissette song? Isn't it ironic?
Yeah.
Well, my 2 biggest fears in life were sharks and public speaking. And now I'm literally a shark diving public speaker. And I just think that's a great message that we can all look to our fears and face them and learn about them. And knowledge dispels fear. So the more we learn about those fears, the less we understand that we have to fear from them. And so that puts us in a position of power where we can confront these things that we're afraid of and become the people we're supposed to be, stronger, better.
Paul, you lost part of your body doing that.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
hurts too.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a glutton for punishment. Maybe it's the Australian way. I don't know.
Yeah, but, you mentioned this fear, right? And, when you were sent to Sydney or that village in Mexico or even, studying some of the shark attacks in the U.S., a lot of people have this natural fear of sharks. Maybe it's, the books we read or the movies we see.
Movies.
And then the news that we see on the TV. What do you say to those people? What did you say to those people in that village?
All I can really do is speak from my own experiences. And like I said, knowledge dispels fear. I was afraid of sharks until I forced myself into learning about them. The more we learn about them, the less scary something becomes. And so I encourage people, watch Shark Week, learn about sharks. If you get the opportunity, go and dive with sharks. You'll see them for the amazing animal that they are.
But Paul, people say, well, why would you go into the ocean? That's their living room. Why would you just walk into their front door? What do you say to those folks?
I don't think there's anything more calming, more serene than being totally encompassed in nature. And where else can you be more encompassed in nature than being submerged in the ocean? It has the ability to wash away fears. It's got the calming sounds, the waves, the ions off the salt water, all the life around you. It's such an incredible feeling. I would never encourage anyone to stay away from the ocean. But we like to think of ourselves as the most intelligent species on the planet, right?
Yeah.
So how about we act like it? We have a lot of tools in our tool belt that we didn't used to have in the form of technology. So let's use that.
Do the work and study.
I do love watching you in action because you are so good at what you do. And there have been so many reports about shark attacks that get people all freaked out, especially when we're hearing about shark attacks in shallow water. You guys call it the shallows. Is that something people should be concerned about as they go to the beach and on vacation?
I think
the
when
shallows?
we're entering a wild place like that, we should always be concerned. We should always be safe. That's what keeps us alive. We have that ingrained into our psyche from when we were cavemen.
Yeah.
You know, fight or flight. So always be safe. Like I said, use technology. Talk to people. There was some attacks in Texas the other day, 4 people.
Yeah.
And I don't know the specifics, so I can't speak on it too much. But, you know, you'd think after the first one, people would get out of the water. Maybe after the second one, sure.
Yeah.
Third one, yes, get everyone out of the water.
Yeah.
So we have to be smart about entering a wild place like that. You don't go running around the wilds of Africa without a guide and not expect to get
Respect the water and what's in it.
Yes, sir.
And you're respecting that. You're respecting nature. We appreciate you for it.